arena. And first up for you is the women's gold medal game between Russia and Scotland. Live commentary on the whole game coming up from me, Alison Walker, alongside Logan Gray. And the support teams are in the arena to watch this final. Russia there's some of the Scotland men's team supporting the girls on the ice in this final. So let's meet the teams. We have Katerina Galkina, the lead for Russia. At second, Margarita Fomina. Ludmila Privikova plays third for the Russian side. And their skip, Anna Sidorova, playing in her first European final. The Scotland lineup: Claire Hamilton is the lead. Vicky Adams plays second. The third for Scotland is Anna Sloan. And their skip, Eve Muirhead. Scotland playing their third successive European final.
Good game. Good game.
There's the playoff format, how they have got there, Logan, and Scotland with the easier path to this final.
Yeah, absolutely. They came through the 1-2 page game against Sweden and directly into the final. Russia have had to work a little bit harder to get here with games against Denmark and then Sweden.
And the other game going on in the arena is that one involving Sweden and Denmark, the bronze medal game. Sweden beaten by Russia last night and into that game for the bronze. But our main focus is obviously the gold medal game. And how will the players be feeling right at this moment, Logan?
I think they'll be excited about the prospect of the game. I think both of them will think they've got a really good chance of winning this one. They had a really tight game in the round robin, which went down to last stone, so could go either way. This is first time the Russians have been here since 2006 when they won.
And Anna is a skip, it's her first final, so...
Yeah, I think Anna Sidorova really holds the key to this game. She needs to call a tactically astute game against Eve. It was probably the difference in the round robin was just that Eve called a slightly better game. But there's no doubt that both of these teams can play all the shots. There's certainly not much to choose between them in the tournament statistics. But here is Katerina Galkina ready to get this 2012 the Gruyère European Curling Championships final underway.
Ready to pee, Erwin? Oh! Oh! Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Da-da-da.
I think we'll see Russia want to go into the house here. I think both teams will be quite content to play a reasonably defensive first end. Eve Muirhead calling the corner guard, so maybe Scotland feeling confident here.
Claire Hamilton, the lead for Scotland. I'm reading some of Eve's quotes last night. She was saying they took the game right to Sweden from the offset, and that made the difference. Whereas other games, they took a little while to get going, so maybe that's the strategy in this final.
I think the Scottish team will take a lot of confidence from that win over Sweden in the semis. Eve Muirhead playing at 96% in that semi-final.
And in the final there are the rules of play. 8 ends minimum this time, 73 minutes for each team. And still the coach interaction is allowed, one of them, and the clock continues to run. So I have to be aware of the time.
Оу, оу, оу. Да-да-да, да-да-да. Да-да-да-да-да-да-да-да-да. Оу, оу, оу.
Good start to the game from Katarina Galkina. Manages to get both of them away with the green lights on the handle. I saw her hog one in practice, so maybe it was good to do it then rather than in the actual game.
Get it out the way. You don't see it happening very much though, really, do you?
Oh, absolutely. The iron the hog handles, we've had them for so long now in international curling that all the players are pretty used to them. I actually think we see a lot less stones taken off for hogging now than we maybe used to when it was just done by eye by the umpires. So definitely a welcome addition to the sport. That's not a great shot by Claire Hamilton. Would have liked to play a freeze on that red stone in the house, but coming up way short and double guarding. So early advantage to Russia.
Margarita Fomina, 24 years old, curling for 12 years. And looking at the record of all these girls, they've had some amount of international exposure and experience for someone so young.
Great sweeping to get that one over the hog line, and Scotland are going to have to try and open this centre line up here.
So here's Vicky Adams, the second.
Okay.
Vicky Adams makes the peel.
Сюда можно, конечно. Мне кажется, если подвалит, нормально будет. 7. Дай сюда. Если не довалит, будет стоять, подрол будет им. Сейчас им так и сделать. Мне сюда нравится.
Always seems to be a lot more debate amongst the Russian team compared to the other teams, even this early stage.
Well, I think Eve just a little older than Anna Sidorova and perhaps more experienced. One thing I really like about Eve skipping is she's very confident and decisive, and I think Anna Sidorova can maybe learn a lot from that. Certainly if I was a player in her team and I was throwing the shot to come, then I would want to know it's the right call, and I think Anna Sidorova has to take a lot of responsibility for getting the communication across in such a way that gives her team confidence.
But Eve has always been like that. She's always been very confident in her role. Maybe it was made the wrong decision, but she's always been decisive and sure and communicating it.
Oh, she has a very strong character, and obviously growing up with two brothers as well, she's probably had to hold her own a little bit over the years. A good peel on the two stones at the top of the free guard zone, but does roll over and covers the in-turn draw here. That could be a little bit of a problem later on.
We're in the first end of this final gold medal game, European Championships 2012.
Молодцы, спасибо.
Anna Sloan, just 21.
Anna Sloan actually skipped her own team to the World Championships in Esbjerg in 2010 before stepping in to play third for Eve.
But she was on Eve's junior team. So the girls all know each other extremely well and they're all good friends, as are these four. Spend a lot of time together. You need to be able to get on with your teammates. Just getting that guard up again.
Or we come here.
I'm just thinking, do you think there's enough swing to get it?
See any of it? Yeah, even if we
Let's
do
check
this,
on the bronze medal game between Sweden and Denmark. They're into
Just move it to
the
here.
third end. 2 on Sweden.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, looks like a takeout for a potential score of 2. Here's Maria Prutz. Needs to hit this pretty full in the face to hold the shooter. Super shot by Maria Prutz. Just a fantastic shot maker, and there's going to be a score of 2 in the third end for Sweden. And it looks like they're doing a good job of putting behind them their semi-final heartache.
Yep, huge disappointment. And sometimes quite hard to get yourself up for the next one, isn't it, after something like that?
Well, absolutely. They came through the round robin in first position and had 2 pops at making it to the final and couldn't take either of them. Just had a bit of a disaster in the extra end last night in the semi-final. Barely even had a possible shot to win the game. So back in our featured game here, the final, Scotland and Russia. Anna Sloan making a big mistake, going after the shot in the house and careering right through the house. So Anna Sidorova, the chance here to draw around and maybe even freeze that red. They could also throw a guard.
Russian skip, 7 years curling, just 21 in her first European final.
She really cracks that handle on. It's a lot of rotation. Had a quick look at the kind of stats from the game last night, and the Russians seemed to be a little bit stronger on the out-turn than the in-turn. They're choosing just to throw a long guard up, so
She did catch that other guard with her foot.
The straw's not here. Tap, even if we tap it into here, yeah.
oh boy, this is an aggressive call from Eve Muirhead.
She likes these shots though. But is it the sensible call at this stage?
Okay, we just need to tap it, yeah, so you'll know what to tap it. Yeah, 8 to 10 foot. Okay, should be it might be a wee bit slower here.
I'm not sure about this one. Alison, I think she needs to make sure of scoring in this end. If she doesn't get this right, then it could be very, very difficult to get in there to score 1. It is just the first end though, and even if they did give up a score of 1, that wouldn't be the end of the world.
But if you make these shots, it gives you the confidence. So at this stage, maybe she can afford to do it. Give it a go.
Must be close. Hasn't got the run out. It's a great effort. That's looking very difficult for Scotland to score in this first end. I mentioned earlier on with one of Vicky Adams' stones that managed to clear the centre line, but just rolled over and covered that draw path on the intern side of the sheet.
Нет? Думаешь, сложно?
А еще может пробить.
Эй?
Еще может пробить.
Она может и здесь пробить. Так.
А нам повести тебе не нравится?
Куда? Если вот так. Тогда ниже уже.
Думаю, куда денег тот звон.
Ань, капельку видно от камня. Одну шестую. Наш чуть-чуть торчит.
Снаружи?
Eve did just move that red stone over a little bit, so it could well be available on the intern for a takeout, just at soft weight. I think Anna Sidorova will have to cover that port. If you could get it just a little bit past that yellow guard on the left hand side of your screen, it would be useful just to take off the angled rays as well. I think that'll be the stone that Eve's eyeing up at the moment.
Little smile.
Doesn't usually give too much away out in the ice, Anna Sidorova. Very focused individual. Looking for this one. Just to sit around here. She could get a bounce off this red, that would probably be a good thing. That's a good shot there by Anna Sidorova.
I think that twirling helped.
Well, it just helps the stone to run a little bit straighter, Alison. The stones just swing it a little bit more gradually than they would if they didn't have any handle on it.
Okay, I had one down here in practice and it moved nice. Just go normal. How much you need? Just an inch, no less than that. It's pretty skinny. Okay.
I'd be tempted to hit the outside of this rather than the inside, but well, let's see how this one works out for Eve. Looks like a very difficult shot to score 2. Maybe by hitting on the outside there might be a chance to score the deuce. Just wants to flick this yellow stone. Just curling a lot. It's going to be a steal of 1 in the first end. A really nice first end by Russia,
And that will give the Russians a lift and a bit of confidence. Good start for them. After the first end, Russia 1, Scotland 0. Hear a little bit of singing going on in the arena. The crowd enjoying the action. And they'll be happy with the start that their team have made. That long, long way to go.
Хорошо.
It's nice. Line's good. Line's good. Yep.
easy, 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 easy. Good clear.
Good clear, nice weight.
Good job. Good clear.
So Russia played a really good first end, but Claire Hamilton made a big mistake with her second stone, which really set the tone for the end. Russia didn't have to do anything too special
Идем пока.
to steal that first end.
Вес можно,
Свит
средний.
первый. Свит первый. Свит первый, Свит.
Дай до конца. И до конца.
Свит.
И до конца, дай.
Свит, привет, Свит.
Да-да-да.
Надо до центра, Свит. Еще. Да.
I think the encouragement there definitely affected the progress of that stone.
Still wide open though. Should be a pretty simple takeout for Claire Hamilton here. Just a quiet weight. Important to keep the shooter stone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got it, go. Hard. Whoa. Yep. Roll it, Anna. Roll it.
That's fine. Okay.
Okay. That's good there. That's fine, Claire. Okay.
Закрыть не нравится?
Просто закрыть.
Ну а что, один останется в любом случае у них. А ролл центральный, не знаю.
Просто у них два гарда. Надо идеально ставить гард. Все остальное играется.
Ну да, как бы чуть-чуть будет торчать с любой стороны, это уже возможно будет. Мне тоже кажется.
Да, давай.
Или совсем.
Okay, so another mistake there
Свит.
from Claire Hamilton. Look at they went to handle on this one.
Нет.
Where's this one going to go? Throwing a lot of handle can be useful for peeling guards as well. It means if you hit pretty close to the nose of the stone, you're probably going to get a big reaction too, so it maybe gives you a little bit more room for error.
Horses for courses.
Yeah, it's maybe something that the national coach Thomas Lips has been working on with them. Okay, so Scotland were always going to have this opportunity to come around the corner guard. This looks like it's got some running on it. Vicky Adams has turned her back already.
She knows that was heavy.
Yeah, that's not a good shot by Vicky.
Что, снесем?
I think we'll see Russia peel the guard here. Maybe a little bit of nerves early on from the Scottish team.
Yeah, the Russians seem to have settled a little better early on.
О, до конца нет. Да, вижу.
Okay, so looks like this second end might be run through.
What weight, Eve?
Controlled.
I'm hoping for a better second stone.
Yep. Hard.
Gotta go hard.
Okay, clean. Yep. Clean.
Okay.
Good back.
Nice throw. Sweet.
So although I wasn't commentating in the game, Alison, I was watching a little bit and listening to your fine comments along the way.
Last night.
Yep, something we noticed was that Margarita Fomina, or her sweeping technique, doesn't really enter the running path of the stone. So it's maybe something to watch out for. Might not be as strong a sweeping team as the Scots. Although it looks like she's got a good sweeping action. It's not really in front of the stone. This is Dave Hay, drafted in as Team Muir head coach this season.
Had a quick word with them before the game, said they were feeling good.
He's been in this kind of situation many times himself.
Yep, he'll be making all the shots out there if he could.
And there's his opposite number, Thomas Lips.
Sweep. Sweep. Oh.
From Switzerland.
So, in terms of the sweeping then, you're saying it's not in the path of the...
It's actually a little bit better this time, but not all the time.
Let's check on that bronze medal game between Sweden and Denmark. Lenny Nielsen with the last stone of this fourth end, and Denmark trailing.
Yeah, needs a good shot to score here as well. Just rolls into the forefoot. Nicely played by Lena Nielsen, and it will be a pretty much perfect start to the game for Sweden, taking 2 every time they have the last stone and forcing the 1. That's what this game's all about, and after 4 ends, Sweden leading Denmark by 4 shots to 2.
We're in the second end of this gold medal game between Russia and Scotland. Scotland with Russia actually with the advantage, as you can see, and the advantage in this end as well.
Yeah, not a lot to talk about in this second end, unfortunately. A couple of big misses by the Scottish front end really turned this into a very clean end. Very much looks like a blank end, or certainly what Team Scotland will want to do. They'll be not too worried right now. They can retain the last stone and go into the third end.
Close to edge if we can still. Okay.
Trying to draw right out to the wing here. Needs to be pretty precise. The circles are just a little bit shorter out of the wing because of the curvature of the rings.
Line's good. Line's good. Line's good. Clear if you can. Clear if you can. Clear if you can, yes!
Oh, that would look like it took a bit of a turn at the end, but good shot. Good shot by Eve Muirhead there. But still should be pretty well seen from the hack for Sidorova.
Yeah, couldn't really have played that one much better.
Don't think this one's going to hang around, but Russia won't be too concerned. And this second end is going to be blanked in this gold medal game.
So Emu head with the last stone for Scotland.
Yeah, it's not flashing. Signed anybody, but.
Okay, so I think Eve just threw that one away. I don't think she even activated the handle there. Of course, you have to clean it and tip it to 90 degrees for the Iron Hog handles to activate, but it doesn't matter for that one.
A wee bit of advice there, or we just need to sharpen up a bit, said Eve. And after 2 ends, Russia 1, Scotland 0, it remains. You're watching live coverage from the Gruyère European Curling Championships, coming to you live from the Löfberg Lila Arena in Karlstad in Sweden. It's the gold medal game. It's Russia against Scotland, and the other teams out in force to watch and support. We're into the third end.
Line's good.
I think so far Russia will definitely be the happier of the two teams. Might seem obvious when they're winning, but they've really dictated the first 2 ends. And Scotland will really need their front end players to sharpen up a little bit. A couple of mistakes from Hamilton and Adams. Definitely had a chance there in the second end with the corner guards up.
It's when you realise just how crucial the first 2 players are in your team.
Рита первый пока.
Люся первый,
Люся первый.
на ближний, сам. Совсем
Дом
сам.
это?
Совсем
Возможно,
сам.
дом. Дом. Начало.
They're just hoping for this one to chew in and set as a tight guard, but just into the house. But that's probably the correct side to err on. I know that Scotland are probably going to be willing to take a little bit of risk to try and get the corner guard into play. And they certainly don't want to be leaving up the long guards.
No. Sorry.
Yep. Hard. Hard. Whoa. Yep.
So a good shot there by Claire Hamilton. I wonder if Vicky Adams maybe kicked Claire Hamilton's brush when she was sliding out there.
I was more concerned if you'd
Well stayed up.
Yeah, I think that does happen from time to time. Super's just trying to get into the stone a little bit too quickly. But I think Claire Hamilton managed to get that one away before she got kicked.
Ended up a decent shot. Yeah, very different. I do notice very different sweeping techniques between the 2 teams.
Sorry, Рит.
I certainly can't speak about what the Russians do in training, but there definitely has been a new focus within the British curling squad over the last couple of seasons on doing more sweeping training. And although they do a lot of technical work on their deliveries, they're also trying to give themselves more margin for error by being better sweepers. And hopefully a combination of both the technical work and the sweeping work, then they'll make more shots overall.
Line's good.
And when you see the best players in the world and how good they are at sweeping, particularly the Swedish men, and how effective it can be, it's got to be something that you have to look at.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
Alison. I've seen a couple of draws from Nicholas Dean this week that the sweepers have really made them look good, and I don't think maybe any of the other sweeping combinations in the tournament could have made a couple of the shots that Nicholas has made, so
Yep.
it does make a huge difference.
Да. Здесь не очень палит.
And that's down to technique and fitness as well. At this level, you have to look for any tiny advantage you can get.
Люсь, нет, нет, нет.
Well, certainly for the sweeping training, it's not. You can do stuff to strengthen the right muscles in the gym, but it's such a specific exercise that the only way you can really learn to become a better sweeper is just to get out on the ice and do it.
Yeah.
I'll give you a wee bit less. Okay, I'll play a wee bit less.
I mean, they haven't devised a machine in the gym yet that simulates sweeping.
Well, again, it's just getting out there and doing it. It's we have things like slide boards in the gym, and we actually take brushes into the gym, and there's maybe a little bit more friction than you would find out on the ice, so it's kind of emphasizing the effects on that action to make you stronger, so then when you come out onto the ice, then it feels easy.
It's like an artificial slope on a ski.
Yep. Got to get this into second shot. Great draw this time by Vicky Adams. Starting to hone in on her weight.
And that was all about sweeping as well.
Yeah, see, there you go. Drags it by.
Look how far down the handle they are.
Yeah, Anna Sloan, actually I'd say one of the better sweeping techniques in the women's game. Really gets a lot of weight over the brush head and some good speed. Really need to try and find a combination of speed and pressure on the brush head to get the maximum effect. So Lucy Privivko looks ready to go, but the brush isn't down yet. Almost like Wayne Middaugh for Glenn Howard's team. Quick draw Middaugh. Almost coming out of the hack before Glenn Howard's even put the brush down.
It's worked for that team.
Okay, so Scotland with a chance to lie to here.
Just easy controls. Just the way you played last time. Take your time.
Easy control, control.
Lean up. Hard. Whoa. Yeah, yeah. Whoa, clean, clean. Good throw, Anna.
Good, Anna. Good. Good job.
Just noticed Ulla Ingvaldsson, the Norwegian coach, sitting in the stands with his binoculars out. He'll be out there just trying to get some stone information for the men's final later on.
Yep, it's the attention to detail that makes these teams successful. Men's final coming up later between the host nation and Norway. Should be a cracker as well.
Clean. Control. Clean. Yeah. Oh. Clean. Oh. Good. Nice throw.
Good, Anna. Good job.
So this could be the chance that the Russians were looking for to try and make a double.
It's fine.
Fine, if she gets double thrown out, we can put them on right round in here.
Really want to try and keep your stones as well separated as possible when you go into the house and to try and make your deuce. And these ones just a bit close together. Should be a straightforward double for Anna Sidorova.
Свип до линии! Свип! До линии, да! Свип! Дай шире.
Didn't get out to that one. And now it's a golden opportunity for Scotland to score 2 in this third end. She's going to try and split the rings.
7.
Similar to down here. T-line? Yep.
Similar rate.
Same as what I threw, yeah.
Pretty quick.
Just keep it clean as well. Yep.
Clear? 19. Nice rate, 7. Just 7. 7.
Lined up.
Line's good.
Line
Whoa.
only. Whoa.
7. Whoa.
Cleaned up.
Yeah.
7 in. Line only.
Whoa.
8. Clean.
Whoa. 9. Whoa.
Just line.
Whoa.
Clean. Just T-line.
Whoa.
T-line.
Just T-line. Just T-line. Whoa. Good, Eve.
Perfect.
Yep, nice shot from Eve Muirhead.
Well touch. Good job.
The 2 yellows, symmetrical
Good, nice weight.
on the T line.
Yeah, I got 19. What did you get?
So this end has erred in Scotland's favour after that mistake from Anna Sidorova. This is her last stone to try and rescue something
Нет.
Нет совсем.
from this end. That was as much as she could do.
Yeah, well, that's the other problem about throwing a lot of handle, Alison. I didn't mention it is good for peeling, but it's not necessarily good for making a hit and sticks. Because if you do hit slightly off the nose, it does take a big kick and it will roll out of the rings. So Sidorova doesn't manage to hold in the rings and force Eve to play a hit, which I think she would have preferred to do than just leave Eve a simple draw to the 8-foot.
And this would be 2 shots for Scotland. Last stone of this third end in this European Championship gold medal final.
No backing here, so just needs to throw this one to the sweepers and they'll take care of it. And there you go, will be 2 yellows in the third end. A very straightforward deuce for Scotland.
Good end.
Yep, Scotland have their points on the board. And after 3, it's now Russia 1, Scotland 2.
In control, so let's just keep chatting. Good. Right, top 4 then.
Let's check on the Sweden-Denmark bronze medal game. A live update.
Jag skulle vilja spela en 30. Ja,
Swedes 4-2 up in the
30 eller
5th end.
40. Jag tycker 30.
Well, Alison, if Maria Pritz could make this shot, it could well be game over already.
Då har man gått där
A
ganska
couple
mycket.
of reds hanging around the outside. She could sneak one through
Ska
that
vi få
port
dra på andra sidan?
and take out that yellow stone. It will be a score of 3 for Sweden, and you would think an unassailable lead.
Det känns som man skulle vilja spela en 40, men en 40. Okej.
So sometimes you get down to the hack and it just looks a little bit different. So
40
just
är bra, men jag tror inte att det är kul.
making a couple of adjustments to the ice and maybe the weight that's going to be thrown.
40.
So last stone from Maria Pritz in this 5th end.
Vänta! Vänta!
This one's got a lot of work to do. It's coming down hard now. Oh, this looks like a super shot. Great shot by Maria Pritz.
And it is a big count for the Swedes. Crowd loved that. Significant lead now after 5 ends. Sweden 7, Denmark 2.
Yeah, I think so.
We're into the 4th end of the gold medal game. 75% Logan for Claire Hamilton at lead. One or two things a bit tricky early on.
You would expect stats to be a little bit higher. The ice conditions maybe not particularly great for leads at the start of the week. The ice conditions were a little bit tracky, different speeds across the sheet, and of course the lead player is playing all the draws, so could explain that a little bit.
Katarina Galkina, she's 82%. Solid player. Taking part in competition since 2003. And the red one not hanging about, being swept out.
Scotland keen to get the play going into the centre of the sheet here, so Vicky Adams playing pretty solid, playing a 79% week. Maybe gets a little inside edge tucked, but we'd like that a little bit higher from the tee line.
Margarita Mina, she's 78%. The Russian second.
Super hit and roll from Fomina. So the problem here that Scotland faces, they really need to make this run or all the play is going to start going around the corner guard. Certainly need to keep a shooter on the centre line. Always dangerous so early in the end. They could play a freeze at this point. That's not what you wanted right there. Really erring on the wrong side, and I think Vicky Adam knows that. 2 corner guards up for Russia now, and lying 1 here in the 4th end. Scotland will need to tread carefully here.
Super first stone from the Russian player.
So golden opportunities like this don't come along very often, and Alison You really need to take them when they do come along. That's a big miss there by Fomina. Not even finding the rings to lie to. And maybe Scotland potentially off the hook here.
Was that just a complete misjudgment on the weight and everything else? Anna's 79% at third. Just had a good week.
Yeah, anything around that 80% mark's pretty handy at back end. Oh, and she's nailed this hit roll as well. But again, because there's nothing on the centre line, all the play going to go around the corner guards, and that's still a good situation for Russia if they can play a good freeze in here.
Yep, they could do Privakova, who's 79%, producing one of
Oh, this is a beauty. Great shot by Lucy Privakova.
And she did produce one of her special shots.
Yes, so experienced at this level now. Plenty of handle on the stones. It's obviously something that the whole team's been working on.
We don't want any bumps. Right, yep, go, 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 go. Whoa. Jesus.
Now we heard what Eve wanted there. Just bumped a bit too much.
Okay, Anna.
Sweep! Sweep that! Sweep! Sweep that! Sweep! Da! Just right! Oh!
That's not exactly what they were looking for. They would have liked to roll to the open side and make a save too. Now Scotland forced into playing the freeze. So just watching Fomina's sweeping style, Alison, it seems to be when she's furthest away from the stone that she doesn't really cover the running path. When she's close to the stone, she gets the brush right over there in front.
But why wouldn't you?
I have no idea. I don't think it's deliberate.
She's obviously more comfortable in a certain position.
Here, Les.
Just maybe struggling to get her bearings a little bit on the way down the ice.
Yep, great stats from Eve Muirhead, 80%. And of course she'll always say that's down to my team. They give me the simple shots.
Just wait, Vicky. Just wait. It's going to be there. Just wait. Line real good.
Line perfect. Meet you. Yeah.
Easy.
Looking good here.
Good.
She was confident about that right from the word go.
Okay, what's that?
Such a perfectionist, Eve. Just rubs off. There's the Scottish bench.
Good effort.
The alternate and Olympic gold medalist Rona Martin.
Скорее всего,
along with
наш отъедет.
David Hay.
Даже
Yep.
если вот
Dave
этот
Hay will be
наш поднял.
glad that Kenny Edwards isn't calling this game, I think. Been getting a little bit of a rough ride from Kenny this week.
I do hear Dave Hay's a very good curler.
Not according to Kenny.
Olympics and European and world level.
Это да.
Great man to have in your team.
Yeah, he does have a tremendous track record, Dave. Now, Eve's just bounced off this red a little bit. So maybe an opportunity for Anna Sidorova to squeeze this one out.
She's going to give it a go anyway.
Well, took a bit of a risk there, and I don't think it really paid off, to be honest.
Close to the guard.
I think if she was playing that shot, then maybe she'd been playing more weight at it and making sure that Yellowstone went.
And there's her mum watching.
Right there.
Easy.
Line's really good.
Line's good. Just
Line's
wait.
really good. Yeah.
Yes.
Gotta go.
Hard line. Whoa, just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Just wait.
Whoa. Good, Eve.
Perfect shot by Eve Muirhead. No way for Russia to score 2 here in the 4th end.
Being clamped by Dave Murdoch and the Scotland men's team and her family.
Yeah, good to see the Scottish men's team managing to make it in this year.
It's an early start for them. They would love to have been in this position, Logan, wouldn't they?
They would, Alison, but things just haven't quite worked out for them this week. A variety of factors affecting their performance this week. But I'm sure they'll be back and stronger for it.
Well, I think you should be. Oh no, big head.
So what can Anna Sidorova manage here? 4th end, last stone from the Russian skip.
Да, не бросай.
Ой-ой-ой.
Надо. Нет.
Needed the back in there, Alison.
Yeah, that would have continued for sure. So it's 1 for Russia. And after 4 ends, so tight. Russia 2, Scotland 2.
You have to bail in.
Even if it's back here in the fan.
I like going for 2.
Yeah, I like that.
Средний. Надо. Средний со свипом.
Да, до конца, девочки, да.
Средний дальний. Дальний.
Да, поближе.
Средний надо, средний.
Rejoining this gold medal game. Teams tied after 4 ends. 2 shots each. And Scotland with the last stone in the 5th end. They'll be quite happy to have turned the last stone advantage in this game after losing a steal in the 1st end. Russia looking like the stronger of the 2 teams in the first couple of ends, but I think Scotland starting to turn the screw a little bit. Russia definitely had a chance there in the last end. But 2 good draws from Eve Muirhead. Bailing them out.
Set-up play was certainly better for Scotland in that last end.
Now, what's the call here, Alison? Trying to come right around everything. This was just going to over curl. Had a nice weight on it.
Was that the plan, to come round?
Yeah, I think so. They were just trying to sneak by. They couldn't really freeze that Yellowstone.
Yeah, we were 3 last time.
Oh, this is a huge miss from Claire Hamilton.
Yep, you hear the frustration.
Okay.
Половина, да?
Ну да. Насколько?
Рит, половина, Рит.
Половина, да.
So up to the Russians to take advantage.
Будет ближе, но единственное, мы этот туда толкнем. А если не сделаем, может быть двойной.
Yes.
3. О, свип!
25.
О, свип! Нет, 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 нет.
Well, this one isn't going to curl much with that. A minute rotation on it. And actually a very good shot there by Fomina. Quite a defensive call there by Sidorova.
Молодец. Классно ждали, конечно,
It's good. Easy high. One. Clean. I'm good. Clean.
Whoa, whoa,
Whoa.
whoa, whoa. Coming now. Clean. Coming now. Let it move, let it move. Anna, leave it.
Good, Matt.
Good, nice stroke.
Yep, Scott's getting back on track again.
Может даже 4, я думаю. О,
25. Внимание.
о, нет! Нет, 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 нет.
Оу.
Ничего.
Оу. Оу. Стирайте.
Even right to here.
Okay.
Barrier?
Yeah.
Take your time. 70. Yeah.
It's good. Better.
Whoa. Close. Close. Whoa. Whoa.
Off.
Off.
Off. It's not moving.
Oh. Carl. Whoa.
Hard, Anna.
Okay,
good throw.
good.
So that doesn't really apply any pressure to Russia. They could have thrown one around the guard there.
Do you think that was the wrong call?
I wouldn't say it was the wrong call. I think it's pretty marginal, but I would like to see the Scottish team just try and make the Russians play a few more technical shots than they are at the moment. This is curling hard. Oh, that's a huge miss.
Just shaves it and heads out.
However, if you knew you were going to get misses like that from the Russians, then you might call the game a little bit differently.
Just have to react to what happens. We're in the sixth end of the bronze medal game. Sweden against Denmark. Sweden with that huge lead, 7-2. Manny Nielsen with the chance to get back into this. But they are up against it.
Good draw by Lena Nielsen, and there will be a score of 1 in the sixth end.
Yep. A lot of hard work ahead if they're going to get back into that one. 6 ends played.
Yeah, I can't really see Sweden throwing that one away.
We're in the fifth end of the gold medal game between Russia and Scotland. It's 2-2. And this end is swayed one way and then the other.
I think actually coming to the inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like 8 ways?
Yeah. You like that?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I like the draw better here. Got bundles of room to draw to with the guard on the centre line and the guard tight to the house to come around. So always, this may be a more difficult shot, but if they could make it, then they would be lying too. Oh, good shot here by Anna Sloan.
Good, nice throw.
The Scottish friends and family enjoying that one. And all of a sudden, Scotland looking good for scoring 2 before half-time.
Yeah, this end has turned around significantly in the Scots' favour.
She's tight as a duck's.
It was close, that's for sure.
It's a pretty standard expression, really. This is Anna Sidorova with a very solemn expression. So now Russia needing to try and find a roll in behind the centre guard to get themselves out of trouble here. Very much looks like a straightforward deuce for the Scots. I think Eve will just be looking for a nose hit here. Just hits this on the nose, then won't leave a double take out because of where the guard is.
No, it's okay. Nose is good too.
A wee roll left.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Clean. Closer. Up. Up a little.
Clean, yep. Well, yep.
Hard.
Hard. Move it.
Go, 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 go. Good.
Good.
don't think they really wanted to roll that way. Could have left a double.
Should probably let it curl.
That's just what Eve's saying. Should have let it curl onto the nose, or wouldn't it have been a double?
Should probably let it curl.
So, a chance
Нет.
for Russia to get away from this one
Снаружи.
without a multiple score. Need to see a little bit of heat here from Sidorova. So a pretty straightforward double.
Вали, 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 вали!
Oh, great shot by Anna Sidorova. Well, that was just a little bit sloppy there from Scotland, really. Should have known that any sort of hit and roll to that side would probably leave a double takeout. But still had to be made by Sidorova, and did she ever.
Yep, very nicely played from the Russian skip. Last stone of this fifth end from the Scotland skip.
Well, this needs to curl. Will it get a piece? Oh, that's a disaster. How things can turn around, Alison.
That had everything in that end, one way then the other, and finishing very disappointingly for Scotland. Russia leading, going into the break. Russia 3, Scotland 2. Yo. Last stone from the Scotland skip, and it's a steal of 1 for Russia. Russia with an early lead. In the third end, there's a chance for 2 for the Scots. Fairly straightforward and right back in it. 2-1 Scotland.
You should be. Why not, bedhead?
Scotland line 2. Anna Sidorova with the last stone. And securing her shot for 1. Levelling things up. And after 5, it's Russia 3, Scotland 2. In the bronze medal game, Sweden very much in control. 7th end, Sweden 7, Denmark 3. And the Russians finishing that 5th end on a high after that miss from Eve Muirhead. Enjoying themselves so far, in quite relaxed mood.
Don't think too much, just end fire. Just execute. Just don't like a big fast. That's great. You see, also they make mistakes. So you have to wait for the mistakes, and then we have to.
All for the second half, so positive. Real big effort. Last 5 ends of the year, girls. Let's make them count.
Yeah, let's make a face goals as well.
Yeah, patience as well. No desperation.
Yeah.
You get enough water on your bottle? Yeah.
Even if after black, go for a 28.
Yeah,
Never
absolutely.
There's
no rush. Just wait till the occasion's right. Just play away. Same way you're playing. Just play away. Once the occasion's right, then we go for it. We took his 8th then yesterday before we got an opportunity. You'll get chances. Absolutely get chances. Just having patience and making a move when the chance comes along.
Yeah.
Okay? Right, guys, have a good second half.
We heard the respective camps are not dissimilar. Thomas Lips saying to the Russian girls, they make mistakes too. Make sure you're ready to take advantage. And Dave Hay in the Scotland camp saying, be patient. And his comparison of the stats, and really, as the score reflects, not too much to choose between them. Well, the Russians have got a couple of stolen points. And Santa will be here soon. And the best Christmas present for these two teams would be winning the gold medal, but only one will take away the gold. There's the numbers so far. Such a tight game. Ekaterina Galkina, the lead for the Russians. Having a good week.
Выше.
Чуть поменьше.
So we were listening, Logan, to the halftime chat from the two coaches, and both emphasised patience and opportunity if someone makes a mistake. That was the gist of what they were saying.
Well, absolutely, Alison. I think both teams will know that this is probably going to go the distance and probably just kind of come down to one shot here or there. Certainly did in the round robin, came right down to the final stone. I expect it to come down to that in this gold medal game. Both teams have had chances and neither really managing to convert so far. I think it's been a pretty even matchup so far.
The stats indicated that just at the break there. Very little to choose in terms of percentages. That's pretty tasty from the Scotland team.
Yeah, that's much more like what Clare needs to do in this game. I think Scotland just need the front end to tighten up a little bit.
Аккуратно вес линии много пока много линий. Много линий, ждем, пока сядет. Ждем совсем, очень много линий. Очень много линий, нет, пусть выше будет. Пусть выше будет, ну нет. Пускай будет гард, но он совсем... Все, хорошо. Да-да-да, ниже, да-да-да.
So quite often you try and take a read off the opposition stones for how much ice you take. But it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Russia just because of the amount of handle that they put on the stone. They're probably going to need to bring the brush in a little bit tighter to where they want the stone to finish. And getting caught out on that one, didn't really get a chance to sweep it because it was hanging out there.
If it is going to stay straight, we can go for the what she initially said, but
73%, just a little bit below her average this week.
Let's check on the bronze medal again. Sweden, Denmark, 7th end, 7-3 Sweden.
Looks very much like Denmark are going to steal this end with a stone on the button. Oh, sorry, there's a red stone on the button, so maybe a shot for two here. I think Maria Pritz could well be trying to come down and tap the yellow onto the red and then into the forefoot. Yeah, this one's just a little bit in no man's land. Looks like a force of one.
Yes.
And Sweden still in full control of that bronze medal game.
Not sure if there's a way back for Denmark, but as we know in curling, things can happen. Russia 3, Scotland 2 in the gold medal game. Who will get the early Christmas present of the gold medal.
So they just touched that red on the way by, and the angles are actually really nice here for Scotland.
Мне очень нравится здесь играть, потому что, во-первых, это опасно. Во-вторых, даже если мы это делаем, она все равно сюда повезет, будет отталкивать, будет сама тут играть.
I think it needs to be the intern freeze here for Russia. Even if they could just tap that yellow a little bit and free it up from the stone on the button, means they might be able to remove it later on.
Ivakova's 81%, Logan. That's good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, she's put some really good shots. A couple of great draws. Needing this one to curl a lot though. So close to being an excellent shot, but could well be a double available. If that just curled another inch, could have done what I said it was going to do.
Okay.
I can just see the inside and no more.
okay, even if we miss this, hack.
Okay.
It's like 90. I got 95 for this. Just easy hack, I think.
Yeah, go 90.
Hack. It doesn't do anything.
I think Eve will want to take reasonably tight ice on this one. Certainly doesn't want to hit it half stone high and chip the red onto the yellow. And from what I've seen this week, Anna Sloan's misses generally have been on the high side on her takeouts. Playing 79% today. Good shooting by the Scottish third. If you just get to the nose, that would probably be enough here.
It did pick up, so that was probably quite a good result.
No. It's
think it
that
did.
straight bit. What, the end?
I think it did, yeah.
Well, if it did pick Anna, then it was probably a favourable one.
Мне очень нравится сюда, наверное, вести.
Russia just need to tread a little bit carefully here.
Ну, а хорошо, мы как мы уберем сюда?
Wouldn't actually mind seeing them making a play on the centre guard here, just opening this up. It's getting a little bit messy in there. They could hit that red at the top of the screen into the yellow just played by Anna Sloan. And maybe leave it lying around.
Катя тогда не очень сильно валила, у них сейчас то же самое было, аккуратно. 4.
What's the call?
Yeah, I think they're just going to come around and tap this yellow back. All of it getting a good shooter here. If they can get one in behind the centre guard, then they'll be in reasonably good shape. Doesn't seem to be a huge amount of curl on this side of the sheet.
No, they do look very straight down that side. Not quite out.
What way are we going?
In the way.
Okay.
You were 3 last time, I got 94.
Like very straight down here. They're only throwing really a backline weight and just taking just outside the edge of the stone. Maybe 2 or 3 inches outside the edge.
Yeah, whoa. Whoa. Gotta hit it. Oh.
Go Eve. Go Eve, hard. Go, 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 go.
Not a great result there. See, even with that little ice, doesn't manage to get any curl.
Okay.
Something you generally teach is to throw the stone with a kind of what we call an active release. Kind of throw the stone up the hill and out the way from the line that the stone runs on to try and control the curl. If you ever kind of turn the stone in the way on the handle you're throwing, it does curl very early. But the reason for that is that the ice conditions these days are so swingy that you can afford to do that and it'll come back down. But
that was really straight, that one.
Well, at the moment, that just hurting Anna. It's absolutely the right way to throw the stone.
How do you compensate for that?
I don't really know, Alison. I think you just need to take less ice and trust that the line's going to hold. Never easy though when you've watched so many stones come down the ice this week and the stones curling a lot.
And that's the medals and the trophy. That's what they want. Those gold medals. Still some way to go to decide which team, Russia or Scotland. And I see Rowan not quite as good as Eve Muirhead.
This is starting to look like a really key end in this match. Scotland wouldn't like to drop another one further behind. Very much looks like this end could still go either way. Both teams just struggling to get the ice right on that side. Doesn't get in behind the guard.
Yep, similar story.
I'm sure that Anna just said what happened to the curl on that hand in Russian.
I knew you were good at Russian.
I think that's better and roller shooter.
It's more going by facial expressions there than the actual language.
Nieta. So here we go down this side again. Let's see what happens.
Okay, put it over the face of it, I think. Yeah. Just controlled.
Anna Sidorova erring on the right side though and putting it in a position that Eve Muirhead needs to deal with it.
Eve 82%. Well, that's impressive stuff from the Scotland skip. Let's see what she comes up with this time though. Well played from the Scottish skip.
Yeah, it's a good shot by Eve, but difficult to see how she's going to be able to get in there for two. Makes the double and spins it up out of the rings.
Needs a wee bit of sustenance, bit of energy.
Well, the games are very long. Can last up to 3 hours, so need to make sure they keep their blood sugar levels up.
And it's keeping that mental alertness as well as the physical side. Keep concentrating for all that length of time. Because every shot really does matter.
There's only really one shot here for Anna Sidorova, and it's to try and draw around that stone at the top of the 8 foot. Probably not that keen to call it, because we have seen it very straight on that right hand side of the picture. Not really hooking in as much as it has done this week.
Это ей надо будет еще сделать. Ну, понятно, что может, и все такое, но все равно. У нас здесь, по крайней мере, будет оставаться камень, если что, лучше выше оставить, чтобы ей вести. Не дать вести.
So is that the decision? Is she still thinking about it?
Taking a lot of ice. I guess what they don't want to do is to push that Yellowstone up, but could error on the short side again here, and it would make it very difficult for Eve Muirhead to get into score 2.
Seems well wide.
Ждем, еще ждем. Ждем, ждем, ждем.
Oh, that's a big mistake by Anna Sidorova. Really needed to be short rather than heavy there, and that will make the draw for Eve Muirhead much, much easier.
We're that bit wider.
Right, Mary.
Yep.
You're fine.
Wee bit, let's go middle 12 foot.
This should be fairly straightforward for Eve Muirhead.
Okay, full 4 foot. Okay. I'll call you on if we're back to the bed, but
Same weight as you've been playing.
okay. I'll get more curl in her, so.
Yeah.
So, last stone of the 6th end.
Well, it's actually a nice comment for me to hear from Eve in the hat. She's fully aware that she'll get more curl than Sidorova, and that's largely down to the amount of rotation that Anna puts on the stone.
Yeah, you can see it even now. And it's looking good. It's looking good for Scotland. The Scots fans enjoying that one. The mistake from Anna Sidorova. Scotland get 2, and Scotland go into the lead after 6 ends. Russia 3, Scotland 4.
Good sweep, go very well. Right, that's what we want to do. Get 2. I got 25. Okay. But I was quite spinny.
That's good. Good job.
You're watching live coverage from the Gruyère European Curling Championships, coming to you live from the Löfberg Leila Arena, Karlstad in Sweden. And there's the names and numbers so far of this gold medal game between Russia and Scotland. 2 for Scotland in that 6th end. And I wonder how crucial, Logan, that end will end up being in the grand scheme of things.
Well, listen, as the end is going along, said it could be a key end, and that was mainly because it just looked like it was really hanging in the balance all throughout the end. Could have gone either way.
Sweden Denmark for the bronze, 8th end. It's live. 8-3 Sweden. Can Lenny Nielsen get back into this?
Sigfridson's going to have a bash at this one. And that's going to be a steal of 1, and that could be curtains in the bronze game. They have played the required 8 ends now. I think we could well see handshakes.
Just hasn't happened for Denmark, but I think they've come up against a very on the ball Swedish team. And they have, in fact, as you can hear, decided to call it quits. And it's the bronze medal that goes to the home nation, Sweden. A comprehensive victory out there. And delight for the Swedish crowd and for Margareta Sigfridsson. You can tell how happy she looks there. They lost out on the gold and they lost out on the silver, but they've secured the bronze after a hugely impressive performance in the bronze medal game against Denmark. Final score, Sweden 9, Denmark 3.
I think there has to be a huge amount of relief for the home country after the wheels kind of came off the wagon a little bit after the round robin, but managed to get things back together and come away with something to show for their efforts.
You can see how much it means to them. All to play for, though. The gold medal game. Russia 3, Scotland 4. 7th end.
Yeah, I think that bronze medal for Sweden is a real testament to the Swedish team's character. It's never easy to bounce back after 2 tough losses, especially with the new page system.
It's always quite sore for the team that doesn't win anything out of the 4, though. Denmark go home with nothing.
Yeah, Denmark had a little bit more time to recover from the reality that they weren't going to make the final. Sweden just lost late on last night and then straight back out this morning, so great turnaround by Sweden. So I think we'll see the Scots try really hard to force the 1 here. If they could go into the 8th end tied with the last one, they would really be in great shape in this game. Nice draw there by Vicky Adams.
All the stones very close together, which always makes life difficult.
Yeah, I think Anna Sidorova might have learned a few lessons this week about controlling the scoreboard. She had a couple of really poor ends in some games, including against Scotland in the round robin, so they'll be trying to blank here in the 7th end, take the hammer into the 8th, score 2 there, and then that would really put them in strong shape.
You take 40. It's good.
3 line's good.
3.
Just here.
2, 3.
Okay, 2, 3.
Just
Well, we don't want it too tight, not too tight.
Lift lots.
We don't want it tight.
Lift
We
lots.
don't want it too tight. Just for my brushes.
Tight. Whoa.
Clear.
Slow.
Yep.
Go a little now.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yep.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Get there.
Get back.
Well looked after.
Covering the correct side of that Yellowstone in the centre line. Difficult to see how Russia are going to be able to blank this end.
Sweep. 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 До конца. Oh, oh, oh.
Люсь.
So really what Team Scotland are trying to do at the moment is just keep Russia out of the rings, away from those stones in the house. Keep putting that guard back up, and Russia really have to peel it off. Russia will want to get a takeout in on those stones and try and move things around a bit.
Yep, tricky.
Line Trinity.
Yep. Yep. Three.
Whoa.
Three.
Whoa. Whoa.
You're good. Sit. Good. Good, Anna. Good, Anna. Good job. Yeah.
So we expect this to disappear again.
Это, скорее всего, тоже ей. Ну, есть вероятность, что он останется. Да. Может быть, есть смысл нам чуть-чуть это все растолкать, чтобы углы испортить. Потому что, как бы, рано или поздно они нас опередят. Надо успеть сделать это до них. Ну, хорошо, если он будет стым.
I think Alison, that one's curled a little bit too far. The position of the guard previous to this one was in a much better spot. So this is really the chance that Russia were looking for to move things around. But because of the quality of the setup play from the Scottish front end, that Yellowstone in the button is just going absolutely nowhere. So don't want to give up a steal here.
Что по весу? Конец 8? Нет, сели. Не надо. Я боюсь, что не подвалит просто. Да, столько камней не толкнем. Ну, на 5? 55? Надо просто, чтобы наш оставался. Мне бы хотелось, чтобы он вот тут остался. Даже если мы сильно не толкнем. Хотя бы чуть-чуть углы испортить ей.
Yep, you can see the line there. That guard just a bit too far over. There is an opening.
Not really too sure what they're trying to do here. Maybe worth running the guard in on this one. I think going by this chance, I think Russia are pretty much giving up their opportunity to blank.
And they're still a little bit unsure. There's the Russian bench.
Tom Slips and Kira Izek. And we never have worked out who that other lady is.
She must be important or she wouldn't be there.
Sweep.
Oh.
Sweep.
Not really quite sure what the plan is here.
Don't really understand what they're trying to do here. I think the guard should have been going back on that one. So another red hanging around the outside. But that Yellowstone at the top of the button is a real saver at the moment for Scotland. It's going absolutely nowhere.
That really is the key to this end at the moment, that stone.
Yeah, as long as that stone's in there and locked onto the shot stone, then Scotland are going to be more than happy just to keep throwing this guard.
Okay. 3, 4, 3.
Off.
3. She's okay.
Off. Clear.
Clear, get ready, clear, clear. Yep, yep, yep! Whoa, little bit, little bit.
So Scott's just offering a bit more protection.
Good, Anna. Very good. Good job. Well done. Well looked after. Yeah. Good. The angles are all sitting nice and low.
It's Anna Sidorova in Russia with the problem at the moment.
Что, гард хочешь убрать, да?
Lucy Pravovkova just wants a little look at this one.
Что она сделает? А ты что хочешь? Ну, с этой стороны вообще никак нельзя попадать.
Можно тайм-аут взять, обсудить, спросить.
Очень мало времени у нас, 25 минут, и нам еще 3 энда играть минимум. У нас есть вариант только сюда.
7-3-21, немало.
I'm starting to get that feeling again, Alison, that the Russian team don't really know what they're trying to achieve in this end. It's look a little bit lost. So one thing's for sure, if they want to, maybe a blank end's out of the question now, but if they want to score more than one, they maybe need to give everything a good rumble in the house.
Whoa.
Not the best slide I've ever seen from Lucy Pravovkova.
Нет.
So like she slid a little bit tight and popped that back, and just the single guard removed. I think the opportunity was really with Pravovkova's first stone there to run the guard, and I think the angles were much better at that point. And just by chipping that guard over as well, might make the draw a little more complicated for Sidorova's final stone. But Eve's going to throw the guard here, and then it'll be interesting to see what she does with her last one.
Line's good.
So same again here for Scotland.
Easy.
Line's good.
Line's really good.
Line's good. Clear. 2-3.
Line's really good. Just
Clear.
go again. Pull up
Yep.
at the end.
Yep.
Yep.
Hard, clear.
Go.
Whoa.
You're good.
Good, Eve. Good job. Nice rate. It's good there. Good rate.
Good Eve.
Russia really aren't in great shape here. It's probably too late to move the stone in the button now, so I'm going to try and draw one in.
Короче, делаем, да, цвет белый. Что она похожа? 8. Ты там разделила, не знаю, да, 8 нормально.
Я все равно буду закручивать.
Really cracks that handle on. So much rotation.
Линий много очень. Очень много линий. Нет, Рит, потирай.
Здесь надо будет в конце очень.
Не.
She just runs so straight for so long,
О, выше.
fighting to grip.
Если зайти, то ототрите уже.
And I hope she's covered the inside edge on that one. I think a guard's sufficient here for Team Scotland, and this end's wrapped up.
And get into shot.
I think so. No. But if, like, the only shot she has is this, really.
That?
Well, do you think maybe take the other hand off?
Maybe. What are you thinking? Like
Higher
that?
the better, eh? Yeah.
Just where that U is.
You want it here?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, right there.
Even anyway, here, this
Yeah,
side's
just
good.
as long as we cover the path. That?
Yeah, it should be close.
So well worked out by Eve and Anna. They're quite happy to force the one here. That's absolutely what they would have set out to do in this end. And take the hammer into the 8th. So drawing away from the centre line here. I'm trying to get it out. Okay, maybe just inside the 8-foot line. And that would block off the draw for Anna Sidorova.
Yeah.
Line's good.
Turn.
Well, just here.
Line's good.
One
Just
turn.
here. Oh, easy, Vicky. Easy.
Clear.
Line's good.
Clear. Yep. Keep it moving.
Clear, yeah. Hard, clear. Keep going. Go. Hard.
Good, Eve.
Well, it makes things more difficult. I think it's probably far enough over to cover the draw. I don't really know what Anna's looking at over there. Maybe I'll try a hit and roll off the wide one here.
Ты видела, как он там запасом закрыт?
Так я тебе протолкнуть этот, не про то, чтобы наш подвалил. Я понимаю, что с запасом, но расстояние есть.
Запас.
Ну вот это вообще, ну блин, не знаю, это нереально. Тебе надо, чтобы он коснулся красный.
Yeah, you can see all the lines in and out.
Можно еще зашибать очень сильно, долбануть и надеяться, что он просто сюда как-нибудь. Ну, это, мне кажется, единственный вариант. Здесь я вообще ничего не вижу.
Russia trying to work out a way that they can get more than one.
Ну, просто силим, да, пойдет, не пойдет. Я думаю, что там невозможно сделать, конечно. Но как бы, ну какая разница, что мы прокинем, что мы просто долбанем по своему усилию.
So I don't even know if this is available. I just wonder if that hit and roll is available off the wide one. You're coming from a stone higher than the tee line and rolling onto the back of the button. Maybe their best bet, but Anna Sidorova gonna almost try it. Oh, she is going for the hit and roll.
Last stone of the seventh end.
Must be close. Not
Didn't
quite.
go far at all.
Scotland really starting to take over in this game.
Leveled things up. After 7, Russia 4, Scotland 4.
Yeah, just let that not speed us up. Yeah, right, I'm going to wait for me handies.
Russia get forced to the one in the 7th end, and Scotland will have hammer in the 8th. Tied game here in the gold medal game, and Scotland look like they're really starting to take control of this game. It's not converted to points on the scoreboard, but certainly have looked the better of the two teams in the last few ends. This is Claire Hamilton. A little bit of a shaky start, but starting to get a grip of things now. Really set up that force in the last end with a terrific freeze. That's a really good draw there from Claire Hamilton, staying high in the house. and fully behind the guard, so Russia could well have to try and come around that stone in the house.
Кать, он балли в конце, Кать.
So pretty good play by both leads. 87 plays 83.
Рита первый. Всегда.
Well, the key here for Russia is that they don't want Scotland to score a 2. Actually, a blank end would be a good result for the Russians. So they could have played the run back here. Just over curls and bounces off the freeze. Scotland will be keen to score 2 here in the 8th end. I would definitely expect Scotland to be the aggressor in this 8th end and really take it to the Russians. Scotland will definitely want to score here in the 8th end, and then in theory they would force Russia to score in 9, and then they would have the last stone in 10. Super double takeout by Margarita Fomina.
No, hit the barrier. Oh, that's my.
So this is an interesting call from Eve Muirhead, trying to peel the guard. I thought this is playing into Russia's hands a little bit. I think Russia would be the happier team if this end got blanked.
And there's a comparison of the stats, and Firmino way ahead.
Yeah, Vicky had a little bit of a slow start as well, but starting to pick it up in the second half. Nothing in play here in the 8th end. I think Russia will be very happy to blank this end. However, in previous games, I've not been overly impressed with their tactics in the 9th end when it comes to peels. Not really done a great job of trying to force, but I know that their last game of the round robin against Scotland, I'm sure Thomas Lips would have had words with them about the 9th end they played there.
Yep, that could have gone either way. But it's having the confidence to make those calls as well, even though you may feel it's the right thing to do. It's being decisive and confident about it.
Well, absolutely. I think Russia just guilty of being playing a little bit too cagey in the 9th end the last time these two teams met. But in the 9th end, Peel's team without the last one, you really need to put the game on the line a little bit just to really try and improve your odds of winning the game in the 10th. You have to ignore some of the opposition stones, leave them lying around the wings, and get all the play going into the centre. However, there's no guarantee that Scotland do blank this end. Of course, we saw Eve Muirhead in the 5th end missing a hit and roll out, giving up a steal.
And is the 8th end of the European Championship final. And all sorts of other factors. It's not round robin play anymore. This is for the gold medal.
Нет, сам.
81% to 77 overall between the two players. And that's probably about right. Both been playing very well.
Хотя, знаешь что, можно... Просто если будет идти, она может повести к нему.
Если что?
Если будет идти, она может к нему повести.
С этой?
Угу.
Что, не хочешь туда?
Был бы последний, было бы хорошо, но первый я не очень хочу. Если мы хорошо проведем...
I guess Scotland not wanting to take too much risk here in the 8th end. Quite happy to keep it tight, and as long as they have the last one, they feel like they do have control of this game. However, I would like to see them just try and force the issue a little bit more and try and get a multiple score on the board in the 8th end. Generally, when you
make life easier for them, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, Alison. Generally, before the start of the end, you have a pretty good idea of what a kind of acceptable outcome is for that end, and you call your game based on that. And I think a blank end's probably their last acceptable outcome in this end. Certainly don't want to give up a score, but at the same time, it would have been nice to get a couple of shots on the board here. Just playing it safe. Maybe just a reflection of the magnitude of this occasion.
She hasn't really done much wrong, Eve Muirhead, in this game. She had a lot of draws.
Yeah, playing a really solid game, Eve. Really seen a big improvement in her technique since she went to Vancouver. She's far more stable and square when she's sliding out. And I think that's reflecting in her stats. At the end of the day, if your technique's more solid, it's going to hold up under pressure.
A lot of the teams do head over to Canada to prepare. Quality opposition over there. More quality opposition.
So Anna Sidorovas found an okay spot here, but certainly enough to make Scotland take it a long way to play the hit and roll out. Go all the way across the house rather than just out the same side it's on. Scottish bench looking interested anyway. Not giving too much away. There's Lynn. That's Eve's mum. I think everyone concerned is pretty happy with this throw from Eve. Halves it out and keeps the last stone. This game is going to go all the way to the wire.
Yep, after 8 ends, still Russia 4, Scotland 4. All the teams watching, enjoying the action in this European final between Russia and Scotland. Just looking at the timings of the game, which reflect the fact that the Russian team have been taking a little bit longer to make their decisions. 15 minutes just over. Scotland have nearly 21 minutes to complete the game.
Well, we spoke at the start of the game, Alison, about just the assertiveness of the skips, and Anna Sidorova just seems to take a little bit longer to mull over things and maybe just slightly less decisive than Eve is. So this will be interesting for me. Russia needing to push hard to try and force a score onto the board here. I'm sure after the round robin that Thomas Lips discussed this with the Russians and said, okay, Scotland are going to draw the wing here. We cannot play a take out on that stone. We either need to come around the centre guard, or my preference would be for them to throw a double guard, and that would really put a lot more pressure on the Scots. Certainly in the men's game, more and more the teams are so good at forcing a score in the 9th end. They know exactly how to do it now, and teams almost need to accept that they're going to have to score in that end and try and score 2, really.
Yep, it's almost like a set piece in football. Become part of the strategy of the 9th end.
Well, a mistake there by Claire Hamilton, comes up short of the rings. But this is a corner guard and could be useful later on. Makes this call a little bit more straightforward for Anna Sidorova. Really good setup play here by Katerina Galkina.
Claire Hamilton hoping to make up for that slightly misplaced first stone.
Good shot there by Claire Hamilton, playing very much into an area that's going to be useful.
That's fine. Yeah.
Нет. Нет. Нет, нет, нет. Внимание. 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 Свит! Свит! О! Нет, 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 нет. Маленький, 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 маленький.
Good shot by Fomina, really starting to tick in the second half of this game, the Russian second.
Yeah. Yep. It's only a quarter. Just here. It's pretty thin. Okay, heel. Okay, time.
Big chance here for Scotland to really open this end up. Becky Adams usually pretty good at this shot, or this sort of shot. Seen her make a few of these this week. Good shot, opens up the centre of play.
She hoped for a third.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, just needed to hit that a whisker thinner to make them all go away.
Гард надо, гард. Оу! Ничего. Да-да-да, если гард туда, да-да-да, для линии да. Для линии очень надо. Для линии очень надо. Свип, совсем открыт. Свип!
Trying to drag this one onto the centre line with the brushes, all the curl at the end. And so the Supers can get the maximum impact and make the stone curl as far as possible. Just a quiet wait here from Vicky Adams going after the shot stone. Well, I've heard that tone from Eve before, and it usually means that the guard's getting wrecked. So still a miss on the pro side, opens it up.
So it was a good miss, not a bad miss.
Absolutely, there's always a professional side to miss on.
Рита чуть-чуть, да. О, все, валит, 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 валит. Держи. А, да, можешь... О, все. О. Не совсем, совсем. Стой. Пусть поуж сразу.
Enjoying the curling here at the Lufberg Leila Arena. It's getting a bit tense out there though for these players. Getting closer and closer to that gold medal.
Oh, just sneaked by the guard. Great shot by Anna Sloan. There's a slight advantage on that shot coming from the left-hand hack.
She's going, phew. There we go. Not the closest, but pretty close.
Yeah, it's only probably passed by a centimetre, really.
It was nicely played too. Don't be Vakova.
Well, that stone could be key in this end, Alison. Rolls behind the corner guard, and it's going to be difficult now for Scotland to blank the end, so they may well have to go after the score of 2.
Okay. What else are you thinking?
Either that or across the face.
I don't like that. Then they come here.
Yep.
Do you think?
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
I think we go here, Anna.
Okay.
Think?
Yeah?
Vicky? Yeah, I don't mind that. This side? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Right, wait, everything.
Top 4. 20? Yeah, 15, 20.
Yeah, I like this call coming around the centre guard. Might prefer to see them come around on the other handle, just so that if they did come up top of the 8 foot and then Russia made a take out on it, then they might set up a double onto the wide one and bring that blank back into play.
Line 6. 5. Vicky, go if you can. 6, 7. Whoa. Line 2.
Whoa.
7.
Coming up.
Needs to go for weight if we can.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep. Go.
Go.
wasn't even close from Anna Sloan. No idea how she managed to hit that wide guard. And Scotland could find themselves in some trouble now. Anna Sidorova with a glorious opportunity here in the 9th end.
Plenty of twists and turns, no doubt, in this final.
Well, there's certainly plenty of turns in Anna Sidorova's stones.
Let's watch it this time.
Катя первая. Катя первая. Катя первая. Если можно, то брось. Возможно, как? Да. Не бросать. Не бросать. Линия будет. Не бросать. Не бросать.
I'd say this is a more normal amount of rotation here from Anna. However, has she got the running to get down there? Oh, just comes up short. I think it's important for Eve to keep being her usual confident self. She seems to be a little bit more kind of unsure about the tactical call, really bringing the team into the discussion more and more.
Yeah, a bit of a lull in the Scotland team camp, it seems. One good stone can change all that.
This is definitely a little bit straighter in this final than it has been throughout the week. Both teams, I don't think, have quite cottoned on to that. Well, Anna Sloan's stone ran really straight down here. Super shot here by Eve Muirhead. All in the weight, and it was absolutely perfect weight.
Yep, appreciative crowd, pushing the good shots.
Hits it absolutely flush on the nose.
That'll get her going again.
Well, could throw the draw here. Other option is they just need to really get that yellow stone out of there. They'll be quite content for Scotland to only score one, and they would guarantee that with that stone out in the 12-foot circle and behind the guard. So looking at some angles and running stones onto that shot. Sometimes I think it almost helps to have a stone there on the centre line above it just to close off the left-hand side of the stone. Just makes it a little bit easier to focus on hitting the right angle. And you know, if you get past the guard, you're going to be pretty close to making this angle raise. Still possible to hit it too thick, but it might just make it a little easier for the line callings, just something to gauge against. Must be close here. Oh, it's a super shot by Anna Sidorova. Oh, and sticks around to lie 3.
Well executed.
Well, couldn't hit that one much better. And all of a sudden, Eve Muirhead needs to draw the 4-foot against 3. Absolutely perfect. Well, Even your head, the kind of stats say that if you're one up in the game without the last one, you maybe have a little more opportunity to win the game, kind of 60-40 opportunity. But Scotland did only manage to draw the 8-foot and concede one, then I think they'd still be reasonably confident in trying to score 2 here in the 10th end.
This is the last stone of the 9th. She needs to make sure of this, and this should be a formality for someone like Eve Muirhead.
You're good, you're good. Yep. Come on, Nana! Hard! Go. Okay.
Oh, just a little short. It will be a steal of 1 in the 9th end. Super play by Anna Sidorova.
Help if we get let's get going.
Sometimes I just think we're getting in the way.
Yep. Scott's not too upset about it, but that's a significant step forward for the Russians. And after 9 ends, going into the 10th, the Russians lead 5-4. We're into the 10th end of this final gold medal game at the Gruyère European Curling Championships 2012. Russia against Scotland. Great end, the 9th for the Russians. And well, Anna Sidorova will have gained a lot of confidence from making that shot.
Absolutely, Alison, but wasn't too much of a disaster losing a 1 there for Scotland. They now have the last stone in the 10th end, and very often the ongoing debate when you ask a skip or ask any team, would you prefer be 1 up without the hammer in the 10th end or 1 down with? Then it's very much a, although the stats say that teams are probably better off to be 1 up without the hammer, quite often your teams would say they prefer have the control with the last stone and take their chances of scoring 2. I know I've watched, I think it was in a Briar final in Canada. One of the teams were 1 down. Randy Ferby's team was 1 down playing the 9th end, and Lang one coming to his last stone, and he took out his own stone so that he could be 1 down with the hammer in the 10th end. So it's very much personal preference. But
I don't know that you'd see much of that happening here.
No, I don't.
But
it's a very risky strategy. You really look like a bit of a fool if you don't make the hit and roll out and you only score 1.
Yeah, clearly works for him. But that shows you the desire to have that in the final end.
Really good draw here to start the 10th end. And not a great end from Katie Galkina. Usually you'd see a team 1 up without the last stone throwing 1 top 4 and 1 top 8 on the centre line.
Or we come right back here. No.
So a little bit of an unusual situation, because usually Scotland would be throwing corner guards to try and score their 2 in the 10th, but all the play around the centre. Maybe Russia deciding that they're going to try and steal it right here in 10.
This is a nice shot.
Do you want to call time?
No. Same shot.
Not ready for the coach's thoughts at the moment.
Well, not ideal there from Claire Hamilton. Might have some nuisance value. Looks like it's going to be an aggressive 10th end from the Russians. Usually you see the team without the last stone playing a pretty defensive end and just trying to force the team with the hammer to only score one. And that was a good shot there by Fomina once again. Really playing some good stuff in the second half of this game.
If you come past it here, it's okay, but here's nice. Won't do an awful lot here. No.
Okay, what are we thinking?
25?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just watch it might come back.
Just try not to jump on it if you can.
Every shot now absolutely crucial.
Line's good, yep. Oh, just wait. Where are you? Well, 5, 4. Yep, then. Line's good. Just freeze it. Freeze it. Gotta go. Hard! Hard, Anna! Come on, you got it! Hard!
Oh, super sweep here from Sloan, and Hamilton puts that in the perfect spot. And this game could really go either way.
It's hard work from the girls, but achieved the result.
Well, I think Anna Sidorova has already set her stall out in this end. It would be unwise to try and start bailing out of this situation now. Scotland have things pretty well set up. I think they're trying to play a freeze on their own red at the back of the forefoot here. They will have to move things around a little bit. At the moment, Scotland lying shot stone, and if things were to remain as they are, then Eve Muirhead would have a draw to the forefoot to score 2. This one's a little bit short of pace, but maybe a corner freeze on that Yellowstone just played wouldn't be a bad shot. Actually gets a pretty good result. I think the guard's going to come off here from Scotland. But we're going to call down David Hay and see what his input is.
Yeah, I like that. I'm just
if we do this, our yellow's going to sit there and it basically takes that out of play. Do you know what I mean? If we did that, you have to make sure you're
I think we need to make sure that's back there.
So just leave her double.
Yeah.
The thing is,
it's too early.
What are you thinking? You're thinking that
Here he is, let's listen in.
Yeah, I think so. We've got to try and open up a little bit. There's too many reds getting top of the house there.
So that we slashed the guard into number 3.
Yeah, if they haven't played that, it was fine to do that. You can do that either or, but if you come up with an in turn, even if you flick the guard's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
If you want to try and chip that across.
Exactly. If we can get this number 3 to here,
Yeah.
Because if we get that number 3 here, it basically takes that she can't really use that.
Take the internal with a wee bit running on it so you can make sure you either catch the guard or push that across.
Yeah. What kind of weight do you like? Barrier?
Oh,
I would say firm hack.
Firm hack.
Firm hack, yep.
Okay.
Try and save your shooter if you can.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
I think go for 85.
Yeah, so always a voice of reason. David Hay.
Been there, worn the
If you
t-shirt.
the guard, it's okay.
85?
Yep.
Going to try and come around this guard, just kind of hack weight and chip the yellow onto the red. If it comes off, it could be an excellent shot.
How risky is it?
Do you like that?
It's not too risky. They're certainly they're going to err on the tight side, and if they chip the guard and roll into the house, it's not a bad result either. Certainly need to move something around in the front of the tee line. Too many reds building up, as Dave suggested.
Hard! Whoa, whoa! Yep!
This is going to hit the guard pretty thick, right on the nose actually.
Okay.
And I'm going to put that down as a horrible result. Really not a good shot there by Vicky Adams.
Точно? Ну пока можно достать, а потом как достанем, никак?
Надо тогда совсем прям чуть-чуть попадать. Просто если попадем больше...
Well, I think
Давай
Anna
попробуем.
Sidorova was suggesting they just play the hit and roll on top. I think if they get tight to the guard here, they might be able to peel both of these yellows out of there and stick in behind the centre guard too. So, will they risk it for the biscuit here?
О,
Внимание! Нет, нет, нет.
Certainly going to err on the high side rather than hitting the guard.
Have been quite aggressive in this end so far.
Да.
Just caught in between two there.
Что там получилось-то?
Team Scotland really need to be careful here.
Here.
Yeah.
Freeze it.
Yeah.
I think you've got to.
I think so.
Okay, right on it.
Okay. Right.
20 is good enough.
Yeah, I think 20 as well.
Should finish.
Okay.
Scotland with a lot of work to do here. So many red stones lying around now.
Just a wee, Vicky. Off. Need to go loads. Yeah. Hard. Come on, Vicky, go. Hard. Okay. It's okay.
Maybe just gets far enough. But the key for Russia at the moment is that stone in the 4-foot circle. Eve can't remove that stone. And the scoring area is really small for Scotland now to make their two.
Если мы стоим пробьем, она упор, да? Все, короче, ладно, давай.
Вес
Нормально, обычный. Просто этот клир идет.
9, да?
A lot of red stones still in there as well.
О, Свип! Да! Свип! Пройти! Да!
Oh, and how could that change the end for Scotland? Oh, that's a really bad miss there.
God, one time it's one way, and then the next one it's the other way. And
Well, I think Russia are a little bit lucky that that centre guard's covering the redstone on the centre line. Try and play the freeze once again. Anna Sloan had a little bit of a sighter with her first one, so just a slight adjustment required. So we're going to see a timeout called here with 3 minutes left on the clock.
That's okay.
She's worried. She's worried.
Anna Sloan's mum freaking out in the stands up there. Getting a good reaction from the crowd when they saw her face on the Jumbotron.
It is harder for friends and family watching.
Is there any chance for a draw to come in from this side?
Well, it is, but it's really difficult. But probably it's better to play.
Может, все-таки вот это сделаем? Знаете, мне нравится, что мы поставим сюда, у нас будет камень, она будет бить так, чтобы вынести. И там бьется двойной.
Okay. I will play this one. And whatever you play, this one has to roll out. And then you have last one if the other comes over there.
Decision made. Thomas Lips deciding that they should play a takeout on this redstone. Same shot as they played before. And Thomas just making sure that the team knows that he should roll the shooter away, just not to give Eve something to come in off. It's going to be tricky for him to get both yellows out here.
Important shot for Anna Sidorova.
Oh, that's a great shot by Anna Sidorova. Lying in shot position, I would say. Anna Sidorova really coming through strong now the pressure's on.
Yeah, they've definitely had a better latter part of this game.
We sit here, she's just got the same shot. It's not easy, at least we're opening it up.
I think we need
Do you not think you could play hack weight to the nose of this? Think you can play this?
Yeah.
a good hack and then go to there?
Actually, it's tight.
It does move there. You've got
I don't know.
more than half.
It's either that or this. The only thing doing this is we're just leaving her a pretty easy double.
Yeah.
I think this.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't mind that yet.
Hack. And we don't have to move it far.
Yeah, I know.
Here, more.
Scotland up against it a bit here.
Even a wee bit yet.
Well, Eve's nominated a really tough shot here. Gonna try and come around the centre.
Just more than half. They like shots, so we're going to have to move
And
something.
pop the red up
We've still
on
got that number
to the shot on the button and hopefully spin them both out of the forefoot. Leave themselves lying shot on the button. The other option, as Eve mentioned, is to come off the red on the right hand side of your picture.
Russia in the better position. But they know it can change in a heartbeat.
Barrier. Yep. Easy barrier. Whoa. Easy barrier. Clean. Yep. Whoa. Yeah.
Must be close here.
Okay.
That's a good shot from Eve. Moves it over. And they'll have a better chance of getting it off the button the next time. Just a little cautious with the line call.
Okay.
Scotland men's team watching closely. Wonder what they're thinking. You always think, what would I do?
Каким весом?
Well, Russia played a really good end here, to be honest. Certainly from second stones onwards, they've really made life extremely difficult for Scotland. And Sidorova under 1 minute to go on her time clock. So it looks like Russia are going to be quite happy just to get that stone out of there. They thought they could maybe put Eve Muirhead under a little bit more pressure. Okay, so looks like a nose hit for an extra end, and to be honest, before the last couple of stuns, I think Eve would be more than happy to have this. Maybe we could have played a freeze there and it made things really difficult. I think it would be risky to throw a lot of weight at this. She could, in theory, hit this red just inside the nose and maybe wiggle it through the two other reds and score 2.
Anna Sidorova looking up to heavenly intervention, perhaps. Not easy being a parent. And watching.
Just throwing a control weight and looking for the nose, maybe even just inside the nose. I think this is pretty good. Oh, super shot by Eve Muirhead. Cool under pressure. And a huge sigh of relief. That end could have really gone pear-shaped for Scotland.
But we have an extra end, Logan, after 10. It's Russia 5, Scotland 5 still, all to play for. You're watching live coverage from the Gruyère European Curling Championships. We're live at the Lufberg Leila Arena, and we're watching the women's gold medal game between Russia and Scotland, and we're into an extra end of this dramatic final. 5-all after the 10th. It really has been nip and tuck the whole way through, as we expected.
Yeah, and you've got myself, Logan Gray, and Alison Walker guiding you through this drama. And that's not what the doctor ordered for Russia.
Eve.
Just trying to decide whether that stone's in or out. Okay, so we're going to have a technical timeout. Well, looks in from there.
No, it's out. No, I don't know what it is.
I think it looks out to me.
I think just from the side camera it maybe look like it's on.
Just stuff against the jam on.
I think we're going to get another look at it here.
But the clocks have stopped.
I think it's out. But in or out of play, so I don't know if you can use that, can you? Because it could be like here. That might not be dead in the centre. Yeah, no, it's perfect. I think this may be in, but I don't know.
Oh, I don't think this would be normal procedure, but because it's on the centre line, then this could be like an initial first test.
is now.
So Sidorova maybe kicks it away a little prematurely, but anyway, we can get on with the game. Clock's running again.
And both teams with just around 8 minutes before they get longer for this one, though, don't they?
Yeah, I'm not sure how much time they get these days. Maybe 9 minutes. 9 minutes to complete the extra end.
Russia with the hammer, remember, so Scotland need to be quite aggressive.
Two really good guards from Claire Hamilton, gets them both on the centre line, perfectly in line and well separated, and that really is the key to stealing. Galkina has had a good game, but the wheels coming off the wagon a little bit in the last, and certainly in the 10th end, and then again throwing through the house in the extra end.
That one on the heavy side too.
Super draw by Vicky Adams. She struggled a little bit in the last few ends on the in-turn, but plays a good one there. And really not a good setup end by Katarina Galkina. One through the house and one to the back 8 foot.
Peels off the guard successfully. You can see those two yellows almost directly in line.
Okay, so Scotland have a pretty good one in there. They're just going to try and keep Russia out of the house for as long as possible now. So we could see a few long centre guards going on. Quite often see skips taking a little bit too much ice when throwing the long guard. And that's not really where you wanted to put that one. Margarita Fomina has been on fire really in the second half of this game, and you'd expect her to get close to double peeling here. I'll tell you what, if you get the angles good here, you're going to get that Yellowstone, the second Yellowstone, running straight up the centre line towards the shot rock. Bang, bang, whoosh, and that one goes.
That was the fear as far as Scotland were concerned.
Super shot there by Fomina.
She enjoyed that. 1, 2, and 3.
A little bit disappointed in the sweepers there, not sweeping the shooter over there, kind of standing back and watching, but still a great shot. Yeah, great game from Fomina today, playing 84%. Just great shooting by the Russian second player. So Scotland with a lot of work to do here.
Wait, it's the same. Okay, just here. 3.
Whoa. Whoa.
2. Yep. 3. Hard. 3. Hard. Hard. Claire, go, go, go. Come on, keep going. Go, 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 go. Hard, hard, hard. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Go, 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 go. Okay,
That's it.
Good there.
That's it.
Good there.
Scotland really need Russia to make a huge mistake here, or Anna Sidorova will have a very straightforward final stone.
Oh.
And we're down to skip stones here in the extra end of the gold medal game.
Seems like the Russians have their tails up now.
I don't think Eve Muirhead will be feeling too good about her chances here. But important to play 2 good shots, make sure Anna Sidorova is facing the game with her last one, and then who knows what can happen under this kind of pressure. I think if they go fully behind the guards here, they might be doing well to lie shot stone. That's a perfect shot by Eve Muirhead. Gets behind the guard and manages to lie in shot position.
They can barely watch. The Scotland fans and friends and family.
Yeah, I think they know that their chances aren't great here in the extra end. Vicky Adams' second stone just coming a little bit too close to the other guards, not doing a great job of keeping the separation required. Anna Sidorova is just going to play a quiet weight takeout here and just try and chip that yellow out of the 8-foot circle. Well, have they jumped this on the brushes? Needs to peel off the centre line a little bit. Does enough. So I wonder, I think Eve needs to make Anna Sidorova face 2 with her last stone here. That's the only option she's got. Just a hit and stick or a hit and roll to the wing, and then pray for a miss.
Won't do anything up here. Do it left. We can just leave it right in that 4-foot line. Yeah. Just by it. A foot roll this way, Anna. Okay. Nose is not bad.
Some of the Scottish squad, and there's a wannabe Scottish guy in the crowd as well. Sander Rovag doing some commentary with us this week. So here's Eve Muirhead with her final stone of this European Championships. Not the hardest shot she's played all week, but very important. She gives it 100% attention. Hits on the beak, and Anna Sidorova will have an open nose hit for the game. Well, Anna Sidorova can't ask for a better opportunity than this. Earlier on in in the game. I did mention about the amount of rotation that Anna Sidorova puts on the stone, and that might not help for nose hits. If you hit anywhere off the nose, then the stones really kick off. Very lively stones here in the Löfbergslila Arena.
This is the most important shot of her career so far. And why is he shaking his head, I wonder? Anna Sidorova, last stone. This, if it falls for her, is for the European title and the gold medal.
I think Thomas maybe thinks that she should be playing the draw. Has she made it? I think she's made it. Right onto the nose, and Russia will win the gold medal.
She can hardly believe it. They've beaten Scotland, the defending champions. Last stone did the job. Anna Sidorova, her first European title. She'd won bronze, and some of this team have won gold in 2006. But Russia are the European champions. They've won this final only just. Russia 6, Scotland 5, and great celebration in the Russian camp. Scotland put up a good fight. Had a couple of mistakes in that final end, that extra final end. And Russia played well.
Oh, absolutely, Alison. Anna Sidorova really holding her nerve well there in that extra end. Played 2 good shots in the 10th as well. I think Katerina Galkina there, she'll be a little bit relieved, I think. Didn't really... Well, I think we need to call in the Russian translator on that chat from Anna Sidorova, but great scenes of celebration here in Karlstad, Sweden. Russia are the European champions. And we've got to go through all of this again this afternoon in the men's competition. Norway and Sweden going head to head. That game kicking off at 3 p.m. Central European time. So enough time to head off, get a spot of lunch, and then return for more drama here in the Löfbergslila Arena. Thomas Lips, what a great start to his tenure as Russian coach. Great result for Russian curling. Their first gold medal since 2006. Here we see it. They knew all the way down that this one was homing in on the nose of that yellow. So Thomas Lips, just before that stone got played, shaking his head. I think he would have preferred to see the draw. But Anna Sidorova playing to her strengths and makes the perfect nose hit. Can almost see the pressure being relieved from Anna Sidorova's body. Even when the stone was only halfway down the ice, it was nowhere but the nose. And there's been some up and downs this week for Russia. Got absolutely destroyed in 6 ends by Sweden earlier in the round robin. But really a bounce back well, and a well-deserved gold medal for the Russians. They came through the Page playoffs the hard way. And let's see what Anna Sidorova has to say about the gold medal.
Anna, very many congratulations, European champion, the gold medal. How does it feel?
Well, I still can't believe it, and you know, like, probably I still can't believe that the week has gone, the week of European has gone, and we are the champions, and just the feeling, I'm so happy that I cannot feel it, really.
Describe to us how it felt during that last stone.
Well, before I decided to play it like a takeout, because I also wanted to, I thought about to making a draw. Then just some thoughts about it, decided to play takeout because I know that I can do it. So Anna, you can do it.
And it worked out. What about Scotland? You knew they would fight all the way, and you knew what happened in your previous game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I told you yesterday, that the game was also tight, and when you have the hammer, you have the more chances to win. So like today, for example, well, as soon as they were playing with the hammer, we didn't really have any chance. Today we were with the hammer, so we won.
And a word about your team. How do you feel about your team?
I'm really proud of my team, and really glad to play with these amazing girls and with all our team. And I'm proud to be here and to represent my country, and this really means a lot for me personally, and I think that for curling in Russia especially.
Congratulations to your team. They played a great game.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Obviously, can't contain her excitement, Anna Sidorova, her first gold medal at this level. Let's see what Eve Muir has to say.
Eve, silver medal. I know you won't be particularly happy about that. What went wrong for you?
Do you know what? I don't think an awful lot went wrong. It wasn't our sharpest performance. Like, we've played better than that all week, and at the end of the day, like we had hammer at those last ends when we wanted to have hammer, and we just missed one or two slack shots here and there, and didn't manage to put the pressure on them when we wanted to. And at the end of the day, they played the game well. They had hammer in the last end, and I guess anyone would be happy with that in a European final. And for us, it just wasn't to be today.
You've had chances throughout the game, and you know that.
Yeah, we had a few. She played a good double in the fifth end to save her two. Then obviously I missed that, and as I say, like, I thought we were in control. We blanked through the eighth end. We were going for a blank in the ninth end as well, and she played a great shot to set three after I played my tap. And yeah, like the last end could have gone either way. Their second played a fantastic double rip and took the one at the top of the four. And when that happens, for us, it's kind of they're going to make that last shot, do you know what I mean? And you've just got to hope that maybe the nerves or something get to them. But at the end of the day, like, they played well and they deserved the win.
What do you take from this week? Obviously the silver medal, but what do you take?
A block of cheese. Yeah, like, I think for us, we've got a lot to take. I think we've proven that we are a good team, and I think we've definitely been one of the best teams out here, and we've trained hard all year, and I guess we've got to go back to our training. We've got the Continental Cup next, and then our Scottish Championships, and then hopefully the World Championships. So there's so much we can take from this week, and it's been great fun. Everything's been so great here in Karlstad, so yeah, we've got a lot to take from it.
Well played. It was a great final. Well done.
Thank you.
Eve Muirhead, always very magnanimous in defeat, and really a sign of a great sportsman, being able to take the positives even when things don't work out exactly as you planned. There's your champions, European champions 2012 are Russia. That's ECF President Olli Rosinen. And a nice hold for the cameras. Really could have gone either way, that final, but as Eve mentioned, just the odd shot here and there, and that's all it comes down to at the end of the day. It was the same in the round robin, coming down to one final stone. And just incredible drama here in the beautiful Löfbergs Lila Arena. So it was a bit of a roller coaster ride. Could have gone either way. Sixth end, you felt that Scotland were starting to take control of this game. Here's Eve Muirhead with her final stone. Russia stolen 5. Scotland with the hammer in the even ends. And great sweeping by Adams and Hamilton to get that one down into the forefoot to score the deuce. Scotland leading by 4 shots to 3. And here we are in the 9th end. Scotland with the last stone. And after a super raise from Anna Sidorova, Eve had to draw the forefoot for one. Came up a little shy despite great scrubbing by the Scottish front end. And it would be a steal of one. Not a huge disaster, but they wouldn't be able to generate the multiple score in the 10th. Went to extra time, and here's Margarita Fomina man of the match for me today. Just an outstanding performance by the Russian second. And you can't ask for much more than that from your second player. That shot really won the game for Russia, and Margarita Fomina really knew that. What a super shot. Anna Sidorova, option, draw or a hit, decided to go for the hit. And at the end of the day, pick the shot that you know you're going to make. Anna Sidorova hits this one absolutely square on the nut. And Russia became the European champions 2012. Final score in the gold medal game: Russia 6, Scotland 5. The first gold medal for Russia since 2006. Katerina Galkina and Lucy Privakova were both involved that week. Lucy was the skip that time, but third this time. Still all means the same though. A super performance by Russia. And they really can't contain their excitement. More drama coming this afternoon from the Lufbergs Lilla Arena. Norway and Sweden at 3 p.m. Central European time. Join us for more action then.